was willing to put in a tremendous amount of effort. I would never let up if there was a ground ball. I was strong and I was fast, where the skill or the straight athleticism was probably the questionable part. And that kind of was the case in every sport I played. I was definitely hardworking, and I always loved training for the sport. Looking back years later now, I didn't think about it then, but when I was in high school, the kids that were in my grade or below me, we would meet at the local high school during the summer, and I would put them through workouts, from soccer players to track athletes and kids that played football more with me and lacrosse. I put them through workouts, and then we'd meet back at a local gym and weight train. And again, I was making these workouts based off of, now I'm looking back, I probably could have done a little better, but we made people strong, made people fast, and that's what I knew and understood. So that was all through 2005, 6, and 7, and I loved it, and it was super enjoyable, but I never thought anything of it. I went to college and actually took culinary arts, which was awesome, super enjoyable, really learned a lot, but I knew that I didn't want to live my life in a kitchen. The hours they work are crazy. It's all what you make it. I could have worked, out of a food truck, so who knows?
Yeah, right.
But it was something I didn't really feel passionate about beyond what I did. So I went for business administration at our community college, BCC, and it was good, but I would say I was just waiting to get it done. The whole time that I did that, I painted commercially and for a local company, and I did that for 6+ years. And it taught me a lot about construction and tape and spackle and how to renovate. Eventually that would pay off pretty well when we got into the building that I'm in now. So it wasn't until I graduated in 2010, and it wasn't until 2012 when I experienced my first CrossFit workout at a local competition, and that was the first time I had ever done CrossFit.
Oh, wow.
I got my butt handed to me, took 16th out of 18, I think it was, and that was a brutal beatdown. I didn't know that you couldn't use straps to do a hang clean, so it was brutal. So I only knew how to do basically a football hang clean, and I think at the time I cleaned like 205, which was nuts to think about, for how much I weighed, around 230 pounds, a pretty big kid. In football, I got up to 240, so that was my goal, was to be as heavy and strong as I could for that sport. Looking later on, CrossFit obviously favors a little bit lighter athlete, and that all to say, when I did that competition, I immediately left and just thought that I could do this. And that was in July of 2012. In August, I started searching, in August I got my level 1. And in October, I had saved a lot of money while painting, $29,000. And I spent every single dollar of it in October on equipment. And stored it in the basement. Had no idea what I was going to do, but it was in the basement, and I looked at it every day. I bought a commercial used gym that was repossessed and finished the equipment. So all I was painting, renovated all the equipment, and got it to spray the old plates, and knew how to weld. So I built my own pull-up bar rack, built my own boxes. It was just a process, and every single morning, get up a couple hours before work. The shop I was at fortunately let me use the equipment off hours, so I would weld and paint and then go through my day and then come back in the evening and continue on. That went on for months until February. I found this space that we're in now, and the space is 3,000 square foot that we rented initially, about 2,000 square foot of floor space, and that eventually grew to about 2,500 square foot, and now we rent the whole building, which is 6,000 with about 3,800 square foot of floor space. We didn't open until August of 2013, so now we're a little over 5 years. So it took 6 months to renovate the building, but again, fortunately,
you're still a young. Yeah, still a young business and gym, and
yeah.
I mean, look how much you have accomplished
We've seen
we have
amazing people.
Amount of time, and it's just truly amazing what grinding and just staying focused can do.
So what was your? I mean, you said that like you bought all this equipment, you had it in the basement, you looked at it every day, and you just like didn't know what you were going to do with it. What?
I knew that I wanted to start a CrossFit gym after the July experience.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'd never taught CrossFit. It wasn't until it was late August that I got my level 1, and then in October is when I spent the money on the equipment and including the commercial gym, and just started renovating all of it. I have pictures and videos of me painting the weights, and from my super old cell phone that I would set up and watch, spray or wire wheel plates because they were rusted. Things were out in the snow, and about an hour and 20 from here. And one of my good friends, Dave Malawacki, went and did all this with me to get it and bring it back. Dave was an amazing person that I was fortunate enough to help me cart all this back. So him and I loaded 24-foot box truck multiple times. We loaded a car trailer 3 times and a dump trailer twice with the dumbbells and weight plates. So for people that have seen our gym, every dumbbell, barbell, anything that is smaller and pretty much came from that gym. And we have a lot of commercial equipment, more like machines and things that we don't utilize, but we have them, and maybe someday we'll put to use.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool story.
It's been fun.
Awesome.
I don't look at it as something that was amazing or hard to do. I just woke up every day and kept moving because that's what you're supposed to do. And I just knew what I wanted, and I just wanted to help people, and I had no idea what that meant beyond wake up, show up, and that's it. I had no idea. I just did it repeatedly until it worked, until more people showed up and more people showed up, and I dealt with it as they came, and eventually.
Did you ever? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Did you ever get into a spot where you woke up in the morning and was just like, I need to get more members, or I need this, or did you ever had a hard time, So I'm sure it was stressful. Don't get me wrong. But what was your mindset? Like you said, I just woke up and I waited until it happened. I mean, did you ever have that stressful day that was just like, shit, I need more members. I need this to work out?
I think what's made it so in July of 2012, I sold my home and moved in with my dad, and I sold it so I would eliminate expenses. My truck was paid off at the time, and I had no student loans because I had $14,000 in student loans, and when I graduated, you have 6 months to pay it off. In the 5th month, I paid $14,000. And I worked in 2012 and 2013. Again, very fortunate that the company allowed this kind of work. I was making to save the $29,000, I was working and got paid between $9 and $15 an hour throughout those years. And I worked 550 hours of overtime in 2012 and 2013. I worked 515 hours of overtime, 550 and 515. And I think this is part of the success that we have seen within the gym. And I'll use the word success, kindly, but I never look at it, and I refuse to now, as a way to make money. The gym is a way to positively impact people, and every single person, whether they text or call or Facebook message or stand there and talk for 30 minutes at the end of class or before, and they have an infinite number of questions, it may seem, whatever they have to say is super important, and they need to be treated as such. I mean, anybody can definitely get overworked. I'm sure there was many days that I was tired. I think I drank No Explode as if it was water. And I was going through about 2 to 3 containers of No Explode per month for about 6 months. And that was probably horrific on my body.
Oh, yeah.
But in the first 2 years of the business, I coached every single class, and I worked 40 plus hours a week painting. And I never looked. I would sleep for about 12 hours on a Saturday after I was done cleaning the gym, and the same thing on Sunday. So basically, my Saturdays and Sundays were spent sleeping, because I was sleeping like 3.5 to 4 hours, because I would work in the middle of the day, and then I would coach classes at night, and then go back and work. Actually, the shop would give me good work, like things I could do, and go in and second coat a door and on painting or varnishing. Again, I was very fortunate to be able to. I was fortunate. It may seem like it's bad, but I was very fortunate to be able to work the extra hours in times that otherwise most people would not be able to have a job and a source of income that offset my need for members. I didn't need members. I wanted people around. People had to force payments on me. I think it was, if we held the class in August, September, and October, I remember that late October and November was the first time I started receiving actual payments. Those months into it, people were leaving cash on the counter here and there because they felt so bad, and I kept pushing them off and telling them the credit card processor wasn't working. Really, I just didn't want to take their money. But it's okay. So it's worked out, and now we have systems, and now I'm more accountable for things like that because we have coaches and we have things we want to grow into, and I understand that at the end of the day it is a business.
It is a business.
That was a hard lesson.
Yeah. It's hard to switch from it being a passion to a business.
I think it's always a passion.
Well, right.
And you just have to say, I want to provide, in whatever case it may be. It could be Chris selling a vehicle. He wants to put you in the best possible vehicle. Could it affect the amount of money he makes? Absolutely. But he's going to give you really what you want, not what he wants. So he's not going to push you to the next level of vehicle because he wants an extra $500. It's like, realistically, he hopes that he gains your trust and treats you well, and you're going to refer him. He's going to be referred again. And the same way goes with you. The same way goes with me. We're very referral based businesses, but but those same rules apply to all of us. And I think if we always treat people that way, then more people will follow.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. That's interesting because I think I'm sort of at the point now where it's like, I have like something like a box of carbon or something, and just like I can't remember if I charge them. I just won't charge them. But it's like when you like sort of look at things like, oh well, that cost me, I'm giving away $20 here, $20 there, $20 here, and it's like, the more money that I have to take from my other job to put into this to make up for that, that's money that can be spent, on a better test kit or, I mean anything, and to bring, because I'm like
to progress your business,
right, and to bring the existing customers I have a better experience, and it's like crazy that I think they're gonna like get mad and like drop me, like, oh
you know what, I'm still in that stage too,
right,
where
and
I'm
it's like I'm afraid to like. They're like, well, what kind of tank would you do? I'm like, well, what I would do. I'm like, yeah, just tell me what you would do. I'm like, I don't even like want to show you. Just tell us what you like. Just give it. I'm like, all right, so this is what I would do. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll do that. But I'm thinking like I'm going to come in way high or whatever, and but
right,
we're working on that.
I'm working on it too, man. It's a work in process, and I always have to be focused and head to the ground, just focused, and sometimes like, man, you're like, here you go, here, send them the numbers. And I was like, oh, for me it's high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
looking at like a vehicle, and I'm just like,
especially when they don't give
like
you any
$500 a month.
Yeah,
they're not gonna like that. But I'm thinking about myself, and I'm just like, hey,
well,
so what do you think? Oh, perfect.
Right.
We'll sign.
Yep.
I'm just like, because that is their budget. Like, I can't think in my mind that it's expensive.
Yeah, you're thinking for them.
Yeah.
Which is good. Good you have that concern.
Yeah,
you're thinking
absolutely.
about yourself, not about
them.
not
about it's. Well, I'm thinking.
Or he is thinking about them.
I am thinking about them in a way, but like, I wouldn't pay $500 for a vehicle.
Yeah, it's hard.
Right. My lease is $163.
Yeah, which is awesome.
It was just awesome. Like, I can't see, like, my fiance pays, like, a lot more. And I'm just like,
right. And everybody has a different perception.
Has a different perception, and I guess I have to get used to the fact that they're not going to get mad at me when I present numbers or when I present a proposal.
Right.